Hello, and welcome to the Amuck podcast.
Hello and welcome back to the Amuck podcast, home of the best Bachelor in Paradise recaps on this side of Mexico. As always, I'm your host, David Stahl, and I'm joined alongside me, a full house today, by my loyal compadres, producer Gary and Carson Cooper, to break down the latest drama from our favorite franchise. Fellas, we're back. I'm back. We're all back in the same city, safely. Right. We're all on the call. It feels good. It hasn't been that long, but it feels long.
But it just feels like a long time. Like whether you were out of state, out of province, as we say here in Canada, or I was purely absent, out of the office, as we say on the program.
Yeah.
You know what? It's just good to be back with the fellas, just talking a little batch.
And we've got a interesting episode, and because we've said a couple times, this is the best episode of Bachelor Paradise we've ever seen. Not this week, and that's fine. That's what makes the good ones so great. It's all peaks and valleys, baby.
For sure.
You can't have the best episode ever every week.
We'll be the first to admit that some episodes sometimes womp, and that's just the way it goes.
At the same time, we also don't make the show, so we can only recap what we're given. So I have no shame in that. Now, first things first, though, we as always, and first day of autumn. We're recording this first day of autumn. If you're listening to it, Gary's got a nice cozy hoodie on. We got a nice little flannel on. Coop got a nice cable knit sweater here.
You're an autumn guy, not a fall guy, eh?
I prefer to say autumn. Yes.
Sure. Okay. That's completely okay.
We just want to put that on the record.
I just wanted to know. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Do we want to go around real quick for that? Because I'm sure people are waiting with bated breath.
Yeah,
Gary,
sure.
what are you?
I'm a fall guy myself.
You're a fall guy, yeah. Coop?
Interchangeable, but mostly fall.
Yeah. Okay. I think I'm just come across as a little bit of a pompous douche. All right, but it's fall cleaning, as the people say. We got to get the mops out, get out those rakes, people. The leaves are falling. We got to do a bit of house cleaning and ask the people to rate, review, subscribe. If you're watching this and you enjoy it week to week, just smash that subscribe button. You know what it's going to be. It's just daily Bachelor, Bachelorette, Bachelor in Paradise content. If you don't want to keep watching this on YouTube constantly, you want to listen to it, it's available on Spotify, iTunes, wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you wouldn't mind, leave a little review on iTunes, a little 5-star rating if you think we deserve it. If you don't think we deserve it, there's no need to choose violence. You don't need to drop a 4-star. You can just walk away.
Sure.
You can just leave it.
Just leave it. Prefer that, actually.
Now, we'd like to dive into a little bit of listener mail. Now, we're getting a ton of feedback each week, so I can't get to everybody's, but keep dropping them down, and I'll select my favorite ones or ones that help us out the most. Oh, shoot. Speaking of which, I just realized I messed up. Next week, I'll give this person a shout out, because I said last week, Gary, when Tammy got dumped on her birthday, I said, this has happened before, I'm sure. I thought in my head.
Yeah.
And then someone commented that, yes, it happened to actually Kaylin and Deanie babies. Yeah. Dean dumped Kaylin on her birthday, and we're going to see them next week. And shout out to that person. I gave out a call to action. They gave me a tip. I forgot to write down their name. So I got you next week. But
whoops.
We also uploaded a video of us saying whether we thought Demi would be good as Bachelorette after her exit.
Resounding no.
Resounding no's. People weren't like mad. Look, it was a question posed by the internet. I wanted to throw it up, see how people felt about it, and now we know nobody wants Demi for Bachelorette. Nobody. Coop, you weren't there that episode. How do you feel about it?
No.
Yeah, well, I suppose you know what side of history to jump on now.
Sure. Someone like to think I always did.
Someone was comparing her to Tila Tequila.
Dude, I thought that was hilarious. A bit strong, but I thought it was like a great parallel. I think they were basically just saying like, she doesn't need a full spotlight. She can be in front of a camera. She can be entertaining, but I think that's the extent. Like, honestly, probably an shitty MTV show is her future.
She could, she'd belong as like ridiculousness with Rob Dyrdek.
Replace
Chanel West Coast. Yeah.
The two worst laughs in the history of humankind being subbed out for one another. Dear Lord. Also, shout out to, he's commented on a few of our videos with always really useful or interesting insight. Harry Liederman. He told us that he pointed me to a interview, Riley, on what's it called? Oh, shoot. One of the Bachelor breakdown podcasts, like through the franchise. I think it was maybe like Talking It Out or something. And basically Riley explains that they didn't know anything of what was going on the beach with Brendan and Piper. Like, it was so in the dark, and that's why he didn't stand up to him as much. I'm still a bit scared. I think there is an aspect where it's like, yeah, and you're also friends with them, and your girl is friends with it. You know what I mean? So
sure.
I think that was definitely still an incentive, but I appreciate that. I watched the interview. Last one, Eva Sophia. She's listening all the way from Switzerland.
Woo.
That is awesome. That was sweet to see. And then we had someone else comment, listening from Orlando, which is awesome, which is cool. Less cool than Switzerland, I gotta say. It's not quite Switzerland, but we have a listener in Africa, listener in Switzerland. And so we're slowly taking over the world, one continent at a time.
One person at a time.
Yeah, one person, one continent.
It's like a virus. All it takes is a little spark. Yeah. I've always said our podcast is just like a virus, baby. Okay, with that being said, let's jump into episode 8, Bachelor in Paradise. First things first, we talked about it before the pod. The absolute nerve of the producers to waste 10 minutes on a fake storm and then leave us with a cliffhanger at the end. How dare you stretch us out for time and then leave us wanting more like that? I love this show. But
didn't we get 2 episodes a couple weeks ago when we got no rose ceremony in those 2 episodes? Like, they're doing it to us again. What is this bullshit?
They're kicking us when we're down, and then they just sprinkle it in like it's nothing big. They go, oh, and by the way, next week's a 3-hour episode. Excuse me? Look, we love this show more than most. Those 3-hour ones are always a goddamn marathon to get
It's a grind to get through. Like, I'm not gonna lie, even last night, I kept looking at my watch, thinking, oh my god, it's not even 9 o'clock yet.
That I felt last night's felt very long. Again, we love the show, but those 3-hour ones are always they are a absolute marathon to get through. But that being said, to jump into this week, and we'll get to the storm. We start off with Kendall and Joe, which was, and by the end, I literally forgot that happened this episode. I was like, oh my god, as if we said goodbye to Kendall this episode. It felt like 8 hours ago, but
weeks ago.
Kendall's always talking about, oh my god, it's so hard to like see this, it's so hard to be here. That is really the crux of, and everyone on the beach is saying like, oh my god, I feel for Kendall, it must be so tough. The whole time it's just thinking like, well, I mean, you can leave. You can leave the show. You can end this for yourself right now.
That point exactly. But I also thought, like, are you just coming to that realization now? Like, you've been here for I don't know how long, if it like in Bachelor Paradise time, but
yeah,
like, wouldn't you have felt that the second you stepped on the beach and you saw already Joe and Serena probably hanging out all day? Like, why all of a sudden now?
Yeah, I totally agree.
It's kind of weird. And
that to me is just like, you can say you love him, but to me, that is entirely selfish. And I've thought that before when, like, if you tell someone I'm happy, I'm dating someone, and they keep trying to interfere, then you're not actually in love with them. You would rather you be happy and sabotage their happiness than them just let them be happy.
She even said a line where in a confessional where she said, I'm tired of, or I'm done with Serena and Joe or their relationship coming in the way of my happiness. And she said that right before she kind of stormed off to go talk to them.
Yeah. Well,
very much didn't pan
not the case. I had a great quote written down. She goes, she's talking to Joe. She's, I just feel like I shouldn't have come here. Well, yeah, you nailed it. No, you shouldn't have. Yeah.
And she was trying to make the argument that she's like, well, like, didn't we both come here for the same reason, to like reconnect with each other? And he's like, no, like the reason I came here was to not get away from you, but like to move on.
Yeah. Well,
like, and we came here with different ideas.
He also had a good quote. He said, like, if you really wanted me, you would have let me know before I left, like well before I came. It's been a year and a half. You would have said it would have came up.
Exactly. We say this all the time. If you're genuine about a relationship or genuine about love with someone, you're not taking your relationship to paradise for it to blossom.
Yeah.
Like,
well, they're also past this too, right? Like, maybe a Brendan and Piper, like, look, we're anti-Brendan and Piper, whatever. But like, that it's okay. It's a new relationship. It's built for TV. But this is like, you've dated for that long,
especially Joe and Kendall. They were almost married. Like, we're past the point of ever going to find your answers at paradise. Like,
I've never seen two people less on the same page about like why they were there. I don't know how she thought they came there for the same reason. They came there for literal opposite reasons. Joe is the nicest dude ever, though. He could not have explained it in a more reasonable and clear. Like, that's very important too, though. You got to be clear.
Sure.
You got to be direct. And he, I thought he nailed the entire situation.
I can't remember who she was talking to. I don't even know if it was last night, to be honest. It might have been 2 weeks ago. I think it was last night. Like you said, I can't remember this situation all that well. But Kendall was talking to somebody, and they asked her, "Oh, has it been a while since you and Joe have been broken up?"
We talked about this last week.
Oh, so it was last week. Okay, and then she goes, like a year and a half, and they kind of go like, "Oh, so not long." And she goes, "Yeah, so
pretty fresh."
He was he was under the impression that, oh yeah, it's kind of a long time. And she goes, "Yeah, so pretty fresh."
Like a year and a half is an absurd amount of time to still be hung up on someone you dated for what they date for 3 years, 2 years. Like, I don't know. It's just way too long. That being said, honestly, I was happy that Joe did stay strong. I was expecting him to, but it is the easiest thing is to slump back into an old relationship, right? Instead of moving bravely into something new and unknown and in a lot of ways scary. So I was very happy to see him very directly, like he bodied
very directly.
She got put into a body bag. Like
she got put in the coffin.
She got put in the coffin.
I don't know how else to put it. And that's fine. Sometimes people got to be put in coffins, though, and that's the way conversations sometimes have to go.
She needed some direct feedback on, like, nope, this is. For sure.
We've all been put in a coffin.
I think that she also came, and not consciously, but I think she came on for that exact reason, is to have a dramatic conversation on TV. I don't think she's fishing for fame, but I think she wanted a big dramatic moment with Joe, and she thought, like, oh, like the cameras are gonna, I don't know, like this cinematic moment was gonna like almost trick them into falling back in love. Like, no.
If that's the case, she really dropped the ball, because I'm pretty sure at one point she was like, Joe, like, he said some really like mature stuff. He's like, it's just not like we're done here, and she's like, it is what it is. Like, that was it. I was like,
well,
this
dude,
is your dramatic breakup. Like,
she tried to have so many, I feel like, home run lines that
for
just
sure,
came
a lot of one
liners
liners that just
cringy.
Tough
look.
I think also the fact that I think she was kind of banking on that they're at the beach where they first fell in love, and like hopefully that would kind of bring on some memories or feelings or emotions that they had when they were there a few years ago, which it did for Joe, but with somebody else. Like,
it's like they always say, nothing bodes well for the future of relationship than having it be based entirely on nostalgia, right? That's that usually works out. But quick shout out to Serena for being insanely mature. This girl
blows me away every week. Oh
my
gosh,
insane. She also, like, she understood his need to have that conversation, but that to me just screams a self-assured, independent person who doesn't need a relationship. And we saw this very much on The Bachelor with Matt Jane, her leading Matt. It's like, this is not someone who needs to be in a relationship to be fulfilled. She's happy with herself, and if she finds the right person, then great. If not, she'll be just fine. So I don't know. I
could be happy for the two, and I love the clip that they keep playing of Serena. I think it's from maybe 2 weeks ago, where she goes, "So I like Joe." I just love that. They played every episode, and I love it.
I love it too. I just want that I want that to be my alarm when I wake up. Yeah, I'm in
I
love with
Joe.
both of them, man.
Yeah,
like, I think
too.
she is just. I honestly, I love both of them.
Yeah.
Ivan, I just wrote down one of the poor guy, just got his heart absolutely curb stomped.
Poor guy.
Oh man, and now he's in some shit next episode. It's been. No one thought that this was the way it was going to go for our boy Ivan. I think people thought he was going to be the king of paradise.
Well, when he stepped on the beach, everyone was like, "Oh, Ivan's the guy. Like, Ivan's the man here."
Apparently not. He's getting body shamed by Aaron. He's getting pulled by producers. It's tough look. But okay, let's dive into Damar and our boy Ed. Coming in. Ed looking absolutely shredded, and the guys they cause an immediate rift. Damar kind of makes Marissa essentially rethink her entire relationship with Riley. I was watching, he's watching now, so I'll give him a shout out. I don't think he cares if I watch this now. I was watching with my boy Charles, and he said immediately, like, oh, I think he said, I think Marissa wants Riley to break up with her. Like she like looking for a way.
That's a good
and
take.
at first I was
that.
like, I love that take, because she was like, she was wording it so weird. She's like, I need this from him, and I'm not getting it. Was almost like she wanted to put the blame on him and then have him put. And I agreed. We could have been more wrong. We could not have been more wrong. And I'm happy that we were. It seemed like
it did seem like she was kind of setting it up like that, though, right? That she'd have an opportunity then to easily turn to DeMar and be like, oh well. I guess I fell in your arms.
Exactly. Yeah. And we'll get to them later. Let's jump into the date real quick with I don't know, what were your thoughts on Ed and Natasha? They seemed like they had a fun time. What are your thoughts on Ed and Natasha?
I feel like my heart just wants Natasha to be happy, so I'm like forcing myself to like them as a couple. I'm just like, oh, they're great.
Same thing
together.
Natasha's doing.
But I really don't see. I don't think.
Yeah, I'm completely with you. I think the guy, the inner, I don't know, love. I don't even know what the term is. A person who enjoys love like myself.
A champion of love.
A champion of love. There it is. I want to see Natasha happy. And honestly, anyone who takes her on a date or anyone she goes out with, I'm like, yep, this is it. This is going. But these four people dates go nowhere. Like it's a nothing date, really, which is so sad. But
and also, man, well, what I will say though is, because there is a little bit of a misconception about our boy Ed, because he does come across as really goofy, as really like he's a jokester. He's this big jacked guy. You might assume like, oh, he's probably a meathead. Then there is, and you can attest to this, Gary, there's some real depth to him. And when we talked off camera, when we were talking during the podcast, he's a very real three-dimensional person. And it sneaks up on you. It does sneak up, and you'll just be in a conversation and be like, wait a second. This guy actually has a lot to say. However, I wrote this down. I guarantee there's no sustainable future there. I just think, from everything I know about both of them, I followed them both for a while. They just seem like super different people, and that's fine. They both seem awesome, but they just seem extremely different. I would love to be wrong. But I think we should also say, we haven't seen the rose ceremony yet. Don't think Dr. Joe stands a chance. Don't think Dr. Joe stands a chance.
2.0. He pulled out the ukulele, man.
Goddamn ukulele.
Joe called it the banjo. He's going up and down the beach playing that banjo.
Joe knows 4 instruments. If it's not it's either some subset of a piano, guitar, drums, or any brass instrument. Those things are the same thing. Yeah, a guitar is a banjo.
One from each family of instruments.
Yeah, a bongo is a drum. Like they're all very tight. Then we dive into, I love them as a couple. It's absurd. I'm not going to keep bringing it up. It is absurd that we may have spoken a literal marriage into existence. However, this Mari Kenny date may have been the grossest shit I've ever seen in my life. This was revolting. Was this not revolting? Dude, I want to throw up. I want to barf the whole time.
Cream's fine. Sour cream? I don't know, man.
Okay, here's a question. Which is grosser? Sour cream off a beautiful woman, or whipped cream off of Riley's toe?
Or whipped cream off of Riley's toe.
Whipped cream off of... Enter Darren, cut that the moment where I sounded like a baby, like an actual infant, like a toddler speaking for the first time. Make sure you cut that, Darren.
I think they're both disgusting, but
I'd take the toe, bro.
Yeah, I'm taking the toe every day.
Sour cream is not sexy.
Bachelor food is notoriously horrid, and the fact we're taking warm, liquidy sour cream and pouring it down people's body and then gross. What are we doing?
Yeah.
What I honestly, I was watching that date, and I was watching Kenny's face when he would kind of put on that little like chuckle laugh he always does. There looked like so much, I don't even know what the term is, disappointment behind his eyes. He's like, really, I've really been pigeonholed into this one.
I did what I'm supposed to. I coupled up with a woman. I've stuck by her. I explored other relationships. I was entertaining. I did everything you wanted me to do. And my first date, this is what you give me? I guess it's not his first date.
They probably go in there starving too, and then they have to eat a flour tortilla off someone's body. How is that even practical?
Well, and then the lady's sitting behind them the whole time.
Yeah, she's gawking in the background there.
Like, bro, what? Get out of
good
the
taco?
room.
Like,
dude, I wrote that quote down. She pops up. She goes, good taco? And what the hell? When did you get back here? She was just lurking in the back the whole time.
Yeah.
And then he tagged her on Instagram. I checked out her Instagram.
Is she a taco lady?
She looks like she's making a wide variety of food. Yeah.
Okay.
Which is how you know they're a great chef, is when they do a whole massive variety of everything, because you know they do them all really well. But
when you don't have
yeah,
a specialty.
it was disgusting. I don't know. I will say though, Kenny and Mari, they both act like Kenny acts his age, which is maybe surprising because he's got a bunch of tattoos and his thing says boy brand manager or whatever. But he is basically saying like, hey, we got to talk about post paradise
Real
life,
stuff.
which may surprise people because I don't know. It seems like he's very ready for some commitment. And Mari being 25 is absurd.
Yeah.
Is absurd. Yeah. She seems so much older. I don't mean that in a bad way. I know that's certainly not a compliment, particularly for women, but I mean, maturity wise, even looks wise, she's a gorgeous, beautiful woman. She does look older than 25, not in a bad way, but I'm just always surprised. So I have a lot of faith in them post paradise. How about you guys?
Yeah, I do too. And I think just the very fact that they initiated that conversation of post paradise, honestly, like you'd be surprised how many couples don't have that conversation, or that we can at least see, right?
Yeah.
This season, I guess there's been a few that we're seeing. Obviously, Joe and Serena are starting to have that conversation. Riley and Marissa started to have that conversation, and Kenny and Mari now are. But in past years, like that's obviously something that is the downfall for some couples, because that conversation never comes around and it comes to the last kind of week of paradise, and no one has a direct plan after, and then you end up like Deanie Babies and Kaylin, and you're in a van.
And you're in a van. I guess we'll do another year in the van.
When they started talking about that shit, I was like, are they allowed to do this? Because this never happened. Like,
because you just never hear
against the rules, man.
They're very much allowed to talk about logistics. Yeah.
So for that reason alone, I think I'm into it. I think I have a lot of faith in them.
Yeah.
Let me pose this question to you guys, because it's something that popped into my head last night as I was watching. It looks like we have 3 remarkably strong couples, and one imposter in Abigail and Noah, who they are the blood. Look, I like both of them. I like Abigail more, but I like both of them as individuals. They are just the textbook couple who, like, when they go, all right, it's time. If you're not ready to commit at the end, you got to break up. They're gonna break up immediately. I think. They're that tech couple. But we have 3 very strong couples.
Yes.
I'm wondering if, because Riley mentions it, and I think Carson, you and I have talked about this at length. I think a lot of people have really taken this year in isolation to grow and find themselves, figure out who they are, what they want. I think that this paradise is going to yield perhaps more sustainable relationships than in previous seasons because of that, because people are coming in knowing what they want, knowing who they are. I don't know, you guys agree, or is it just luck of the draw?
I think that's a very astute observation there. I think that's just kind of the product of the world we've been living in for the last almost 2 years now. Some people have taken this time off, or time in quarantine, or extra time handed to them to grow and to really hone in on themselves. And I know it was very cliche, but when we heard a lot of people coming into paradise and they give their brief blurb about them, they're always like, oh, I'm a new me, like I'm a newfound person with new objectives in life and the way I view things, which a lot of people still were very much the same person. But
Connor,
Brendan,
Brendan, I've changed a lot over the past 3 weeks.
3 weeks, yeah. But no, I do think that out of that, people have kind of focused in what they want in life. And I think, as a product of that is more sustainable relationships, as we're seeing right now.
Now, an unsustainable relationship, James and Tia. Let's jump into that, because he tries to do a cute little thing.
I don't mean to be mean to James right now. And like, I think I said something like this on Katie's. What are you doing?
Like,
how are you still here?
You're going to be mean to him. Like, I don't mean to be mean. However,
no, like, I think he's a fine guy. Like, you guys actually grown on me as a person.
Yeah, dude, he might make it through another week.
But how is he still here? I know. I don't get how he's here.
But see, I think he was a day one guy, too.
He was.
Yeah, he was.
Like, do yourself a favor, bro.
He should play Survivor. Survivor.
Let's play a fun game. Who has given James a rose? Name one. Who's he got a rose from?
Oh man.
Name anyone?
Wow. I legit have I have no idea.
I can't name one. Like I actually can't. I can't.
Like
think of one.
who's giving him a rose in the
giving him
past?
a rose?
Maybe Demi.
Who's giving?
Ooh,
Oh,
Demi might have
shit.
given him like the first one or like one of the
But
first
I thought
ones.
he gave. No, I think Demi tricked him into giving him one.
I think
Yeah, I think
he
he-
gave the rose.
Dude, I have no idea.
I don't know.
Fantastic question.
I couldn't name someone.
So he tries to do something cute for TA, but it was what, blocks of wood, and he painted on them, or a producer painted on them, and one was representing her city, one was representing his. Nice enough guy. He keeps inserting the word love triangle, which is very generous, James.
That
He
is
keeps
so
saying,
generous, dude. Like I don't know all
I'm
that.
a part of this super complicated love triangle. Like I'd say it's like a love line with a random dot, like
He's gonna
creeping
be-
in.
He's gonna
every
be
once in a
watching
while.
this back and see how the producers have cut and edited everything and be like, I sound like such an idiot.
Yeah. But dude, okay, so I don't know if I haven't heard people say like don't talk about people kissing, it's gross, so I'm just gonna keep doing it until the listeners tell me not to. Because I'm analyzing these bad boys. That James kiss, didn't love it.
Something was
Didn't love
off.
it the first. I hated it the first time, and I didn't like it the second time. It was maybe better, but to me, I'm not gonna analyze too much. Too aggressive on his part. Yeah, dude, you can't go for the home run makeout
Yeah.
right away. You gotta like.
Well,
That's
and
a
the
page out of
initiation
Connor B's
Chill
book.
was super off too.
Yeah.
He did the whole like wooden block thing, and she was like, "Oh, thanks. Like that's cool, I guess." And then instantly
Yeah.
went for the. She literally said, "Thank you." That's it.
And then,
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
you can't go into
Well,
the
and-
makeout after she thanks you for like a nice gesture. Like,
And
what the hell?
then they get one kiss in, and they kiss for 2 seconds. He comes up for air and says some shit. I hate when
Yeah,
people
don't-
will say some. He tries to mumble a say. He goes, kissing you, like, and then she goes, yeah, just kiss me. Like, dude, shut your mouth, James. Just shut up and just pray to God
I know we're gonna
that
get
someone that drops the ball and you come through again.
we're gonna get into this love triangle. I feel so bad for Tia that her options are a guy that she kind of wants who just doesn't pay any attention to her,
Doesn't
or
care.
dick.
Doesn't care.
or James. And she's like, just fucking kill me.
Dude, that vagina vote, it's imperative, and that is gonna hurt when James watches that.
Oh,
And
tough.
imagine if they're together now. Well, I mean, they're not together now. They may have been last night, but after
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
oh boy, no
She's
chance.
not even saying she feels something. She's like nothing. I just feel
N-
nothing.
dead.
There's nothing.
Dead. Yeah.
Can we talk
Yeah, oh
about
my
Blake though
God.
for a second? That guy
Let's jump
sucks.
forward. Let's jump forward to Blake, because that's not going to take long. So we'll
He
just jump
sucks.
into that.
Does anyone
He
agree
does
with
suck.
Yeah, I
could-
think he's a classic rose hunter. Like it's just,
Whoa.
I think that's what he
like
is,
that.
man. Like I don't know. Like
You
if
think
you
he's
had-
just initially charming?
for sure.
Yeah.
I think that's his maybe kind of his shtick. But like if he's actually genuinely in a quote unquote love triangle, like it's being told on the beach, like
Yeah.
you'd think he'd put a little effort forward to at least secure the rose. It's not even like he has the rose to give out. Like
Yeah.
he's fighting for a spot.
And let me
And I
say
think
this too. Like, oh, go ahead, Coop.
Yeah, I was just saying I think he might be a little arrogant in his position. I think he looks at James
Yeah.
and probably goes like, "Ah, like,
Yeah.
I got this on lock."
I hate this too, because first of all, I will say I think he was probably taken aback a little bit by how mad Tia was.
yeah.
However, I'm gonna just speak for all of us. So, like, we're Team Tia here.
Yes.
And first of all, this may be the comeback of the century for James, because like that, I feel like Blake is about to throw a 3-1 lead right now. But like I hate these grandiose statements with zero actions.
Mhm.
It doesn't mean shit. He just kept saying over and over and over, I literally don't care about anything else except for our relationship. This is the only thing important in the world to me.
Yeah.
Well, then why were you at the bar
Yeah.
chilling with your friends? Apparently, that's more important. Those words mean nothing without actions. If you're not even taking time to sweep her away or planning a little something,
Yeah.
you should be doing that. It's
Or
the
like-
start of a relationship. You shouldn't even need competition to do that.
Mhm.
if he keeps saying like, "Oh, like my only thought is to like leave this place with you," like every other couple are hanging out together all day.
Yeah.
Like she had to like pry him away to have a conversation, and she's like, "How come it's taken so long?" He goes, "Oh, you think I wasn't going to talk to you today?" And she's like, "You haven't. You haven't
Yeah.
at any point."
Yeah, I am so out on the, and look, I know last week we were in, but like
was
that's
in,
yeah,
that's
that's the thing about douchebags. They're great at looking
Yeah.
like fantastic guys.
Tatty Daddy got us mixed up.
Yeah.
I got lost in those tats, baby. I got
Yeah,
lost
so
in
did
that
I.
body art.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So You got me. Let's go back to
Rewind.
Riley and Marissa real quick. It's tough to dive in and critique and recap and find something funny. It was a powerful scene. I will say, I always think it's unfortunate when, and I do like Marissa, I think it's unfortunate when people are forced to have these conversations on TV though.
Yeah.
Right. It's just like, and she did. And again, I think she's great, whatever, but she did force it out of him. Right. It's pretty much like, hey, if you don't want me to go over to Damar, I better get some.
I don't think she framed it as an ultimatum per se, but I mean, it could easily be perceived as like, well, I really do have to show her that I care by opening up. This is not necessarily the way I wanted to do it. If that were me, this is not the place I'd want to do it.
Exactly.
And it seems like Riley was a little, withheld and didn't want to do it on TV. But
I will say he's very eloquent. He talked a little bit of his family situation with Tayshia on her season, and he was very, very well spoken there. I mean, I just have the utmost respect for him. But that being said, it's just tough to put a stopwatch on when you're ready to talk about your trauma, right? Of like, okay, you got one night before I accept a date with someone else.
Yeah,
like,
and then do it with a camera in your face.
Yeah, but they've now moved past that. And, it was also like her reaction, he really opens up about some family trauma. And basically it cuts to her confessional and she's like, he likes me. And you're like, well, yeah,
we knew that.
It's like,
it's
that wasn't
like she
really
went
the
looking
point.
for it, and then she got it, and she was like, I didn't like that, like too much. It's like,
but like,
you wanted this though, like,
they seem strong though. I'm into
I
them.
agree.
They seem like they're in a really good place, and I'm a huge fan of Riley. He's the best. He's a little bit
love that guy.
of a cornball, but the fact that he said I can't rap for shit made me like him so much more. Like, okay, thank God
the spoken word a little bit for me. Like it makes it far better. Way better than it was for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Let's jump into oh boy, the crux of the episode, the real meat and potatoes. This storm, baby. Oh my God. We were saying earlier, I went for a jog in a storm that was worse than this today. Like, I mean, come on, it was nothing. It was
today.
It was swimsuit weather. I mean, also, like, they're acting like it's life or death. I'm not blaming the contestants. I would just guarantee the producers went in there and were like, guys, I mean, we've asked the locals. It seems like only 3 of you are going to be able to make it out of here alive. I mean, how does that? We're all going in the same bed. No, guys, only 3 of you. That's
guys.
What the numbers
This storm
are saying.
actually killed the last generation of locals on this island. And,
the same storm.
So,
it comes back every year.
The same storm comes back every year.
Like, if it's life or death, why are you able to pack up your belongings? And like, why are you able to get B-roll and doing confessionals?
Yeah, he comes up and goes, but we got to go right now. So everybody go pack up your belongings, and we'll meet at the car.
Take your time.
And Kenny and Tia.
We need to see you over in the.
They want to do some confessionals before we get going. So if you could just head over there. There was one where, like, I guess the way it could have been a tornado, I guess, but there was one where a couple of lanterns like banged together, and I was like, oh, so producer pushed it because. Why are they going?
Planking.
Why are they blowing in opposite directions? I thought it was amazing. I loved. We heard this twice. We heard this from Joe and Kenny. Being like, what if I don't see Mari and Serena again?
Ever again?
What are you talking about? Like, what do you think? I think they literally thought they were gonna die.
Like, you're also going to the same hotel right now.
Thing,
like, they're driving you to the same place.
I love how they split them all up too. Like, obviously you don't want them like doing shit outside the show. Obviously we'll get to that later, but like you're all going to the same hotel. You're all probably going in the similar cars. Like,
but you know what? You might even go in the same car.
Exactly.
Dude, I thought it was amazing how we also come back for. I was confused. We came back from commercial break. I was typing some notes on my phone. I look up. It's sunny and everyone's coming back in. I was like, wait, is that can't be it? You can't tell me it's just over now. Everyone's fine. You got to at least like make Ivan put on a fake cast and try to trick me into thinking it was. Yeah. All right. I don't know. I have nothing else to say on the storm. You guys ready to jump into the cocktail party?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's do it up. Yeah, I mean, I literally just, there was kind of nothing besides, to me, there was nothing too much to it besides, you know, we had the Blake Tia thing, and then we get into the Ivan versus Aaron situation. It was very jarring to me. I kept forgetting there was a cocktail party, that it was happening during the day.
I was honestly just thinking back to that. When you said the cocktail party, I was trying to think what the hell
like,
happened
what are you
to that
talking
cocktail
about?
party, because I couldn't even picture it in my head because it was in the middle of the day.
Middle of the day. Yeah. I did not like that. Of course, they just got to get back to it, but it threw me off. People forget that, I think, like, yeah, people forget that Ivan pulls. Ivan is the man. Yes, he got his heart crossed off twice. Yes, Aaron said he would snap him like a twig. However, him and Chelsea right off the bat,
yeah,
and
they're
it
hitting
leads
it
to
off.
the question.
Yeah, right off the bat, something's fishy.
What happened in that hotel?
Uh-oh.
Because I saw some people online saying like, oh, he was with a producer, oh, this happened. I think probably him and Chelsea hooked up. I don't know.
You think so?
I don't know. What are your thoughts? Because it was very quick, but then I think she was doing a way better. She saw what happened to her friend Piper, and she was like, okay, I gotta actually put on my acting chops. And she was like, oh yeah, you're one of the homies. And he looked at her maybe like, we had sex yesterday. and you know, I don't know, but I just think it was a very quick move. Now their two groups seem to hang out a lot outside the show, so I would guarantee they know each other.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But what are your thoughts there? And who are you picking? Either from, like, who do you think Chelsea's picking, Ivan or Aaron, or DeMar, I suppose?
Yeah.
I think so. And who you're picking in a fight scenario?
Well, I think she's gonna pick Aaron. I do.
Ooh, wow.
I don't know why.
I think Ivan might be shuffled off the show.
I think Ivan might be shuffled off the show. I think this is his last kind of attempt to secure Rose. I don't think he's necessarily Rose hunting. I think something might have happened where they kind of built a connection, whatever. I do think she will end up picking Aaron. If there was a fight, I think I'd have to also go Aaron.
Tall guy.
He's a tall guy, and I feel like that guy, when he gets mad, like he doesn't feel pain.
That's just him all the time.
Yeah, like Ivan could take like a 2x4 to the back of his head, and he would just like shake it off.
You disrespected me.
Yeah, man, nothing. I know James was almost like, well, yeah, man, he's gotta stay in the show somehow. Like he was almost on. Those guys love each other, and he was kind of like, well, yeah, he's just going after a girl. You went on one date with her. He goes, nah, dude, you don't get it. He literally told me he was just gonna take himself out of the show.
Guy's literally a hot air balloon. Like what?
Nah, dude, the guy's literally a beanie bag chair.
What?
Yeah, what are you scared? Can you? I was trying to think of that quote.
I think the exact quote is like snaky little bitch bag or something. Like
what does that mean?
Snake with garbage bag
with the human trash bag that Trey used to always say.
Bitch bag.
Everything has
bitch
to be a
bag.
Like what?
I don't even understand. It's just so unnecessary. Bag adds nothing in that context.
For some reason, like the guys from Katie's season always have the most hilarious like chirps for everyone, and they just don't make any sense ever. They're not rooted in anything.
I love it in like a friend-to-friend scenario where you're just like calling your friends stupid fucking insults for no reason. But like when you're seriously trying to insult someone and you call them a snaky bitch bag,
the guy is literally a lint-covered cashmere sweater. The guy is literally a chocolate eclair.
I literally snapped him in half like a twig that he is. What? Okay.
But I do love it. I'm gonna be honest. I
would literally eat him up with a bowl of oatmeal. What? What? Aaron, what?
Literally looking as thick as a bowl of oatmeal. Hold on a second.
Slow your roll there, cowboy. Hold up. All right.
They did look like they were gonna kiss at the end there. It was
very close to smooching. Maybe that's what happened in the hotel. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out next week. I am very interested. I think they might take Ivan off the show. It looked like a very serious chit chat, but again, I'm excited to see. We called it last week, Gary. What? Sorry for all the listeners. Producer Gary's microphone just went up as if a poltergeist was yanking it. Yeah. But we called it last week, Coop. We said it was going to be a hold me back fight, like in the NBA, where you're just waiting to be held back by people.
But the funny thing is, no one was standing around them.
No
one wanted to hold anyone back.
They kept kind of moving back a little bit. They kept being like, "No, seriously, bro, you." And I love
back
that
up.
neither one of them really wanted to come to the other.
Yeah.
Like, no, bro, you come down here to me.
No,
Are you kidding me, bro?
Here.
You come up here. Just okay.
And then we see in the promo for next week. It sounds like Riley gets a little caught up in it. He gets a little pissed off too.
Yeah, who is he talking to?
They make it seem like he's talking to Aaron, but I bet you it's not. Like I bet you the way
really?
it's cut.
Because I think him and Ivan are probably pretty close. They were in the same season. Riley and Ivan.
Yeah. So I think Riley was getting mad at Aaron.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I think that's probably the case because they don't really have any other connections to like.
No, I don't think
so. Their girls aren't friends. So you know what I mean? Like any of those things that would dissuade them. Yeah. Okay. Let's jump into our roses and our thorns this episode. Do we want to start off positive or negative, fellas?
Negative as always.
Let's start off negative, end off on a positive note, and then we got to do our couple of the episode as well. All right, we'll start with producer Gary. What you got? What's your thorn?
I want to say obviously the storm, but I think that's it's low hanging fruit. So I
had bitch ass storm written down, but okay, I'll let you.
All of ours collectively.
Yeah, that's
all right, collective. All right, yeah.
Get it out of here. But also like a real thing that I took issue with I don't know, like the whole. I feel like the Joe and Kendall thing. I think they could have maybe got a little more out of it. It kind of wrapped up in like 10 minutes, or they could have dealt with it last week, or something.
Or they could have just
like it didn't need to be in this episode. Like let's get it out of here.
Fair.
It was kind of strange.
Yeah, fair. All right, Coop, what you got?
My thorn's got to go to Lil Jon, man.
I
don't know. I'll tell you why.
Because we've loved some of the guest hosts so far.
Well, that's just it. The guest hosts I really enjoyed so far. In all, I can say, I enjoyed the guest host, and I do like it for Paradise and the way Paradise is set up. But just like all season, they've been teasing specifically this one host, Lil Jon. Yeah. They even had a fake Lil Jon doing the voice for all the previews.
Next week on Bachelor Paradise.
Yeah, and I just didn't think we really got much of him. Like we just.
Well, the guy clearly has no idea what the show's about.
Obviously not. And this one just didn't work for me.
I forgot what instance it was, but at one point, like, he was just so confused about the concept of the show. Yeah. Like, I think it was when Ed and Tamara were coming in, and he goes like, "Oh man, now there's more guys to contend and less fun." It's like, yeah, dude, that's how the show works. And then next week there'll be more girls coming in.
Yeah. But actually, I think Lil Jon might be the most irrelevant out of all the hosts. Like,
I think so too.
He was relevant back in the day, but no one really cares about it anymore.
Titus Burgess is quite relevant today.
Even David Spade, I think, is more relevant.
David Spade I think David Spade is probably a bit more relevant.
I don't think Lil Jon has any relevancy in 2021.
He has 800K over 800K followers on Instagram. That kind of surprised me. That seemed a bit high.
High.
To me.
Yeah, he should be in the millions, bro. It's Lil Jon.
Okay. You and I hold Lil Jon to different esteems, I suppose. Yeah.
Well, did you guys watch?
I thought he'd be chilling at 500K. I don't know. Like, what content do you follow Lil Jon?
No.
What content is he posting that you're itching for?
I don't know. I remember I watched The Apprentice like years and years ago, and he was on it.
He would be the worst apprentice of all time.
He actually made it. He was on the greatest season of The Apprentice of all time. He's on.
Okay, well that's another show. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Check out our Apprentice recap podcast.
From 2006. Yeah. Now I'm gonna real quick. I'm giving mine to. I want to give it to bitch ass Storms, but that's across the board. So I'm gonna give it to douchebag Blake. I'm out, and mostly because he tricked me. Daddy, you got me roped in. You made me look like a fool, and yeah, you're kind of a dick, and you're full of empty words. I know that I think we're going to catch some heat for that. I think some people fell in love with Daddy, and I think he's going to have some defenders online, but we stand by it. All right. Definitely. What's your rose, producer Gary?
I'm going to give my rose to Kenny for being mature, bringing up the after the show, kind of looking forward instead of being in the present, which is hard to do in Paradise. People get caught up.
Yeah.
And good for them. I think they're going to go the distance, and I'm excited to see where this leads. Hopefully no more big drama for those two specifically, but you never know.
This is something I noticed that, and because you don't get this a ton, but Kenny has been because you obviously can't say whether you're still with the person, but I really studied the way people post the previews, because I've been doing that for years, like trying to see, like, because if you broke up with someone, you're even subconsciously gonna post it in a different way than if you're with the same person. All of Kenny's reposts of the previews and everything are all ones that are like specifically not just him with Mari. He's very quick to post those. So I don't know. I think they're still together. That is my little take. Again, there's only so much you can take away from promos because they're so policed. But I don't know. I'm in on that, Gary. Coop, what you got?
My rose is going to go to Aaron this week, just because, as soon as you think this guy is kind of laying low, flying under the radar, you almost forget about him. He comes back with some classic Aaron shit, and just his classic.
The guy's electric.
The guy is electric, and you know what? He makes for great TV, and I like him.
He does.
And yeah, so obviously he steals the ending of the show, and I can't wait for next week just because
we
of that.
need confrontation on this show. Yes. That is what we love in Paradise.
And that's what Aaron lives in.
Don't insult my intelligence, Derek. I would love to see a John Paul Jones and Aaron rivalry.
Standoff.
Oh my god, that would be incredible. I think they're about the same size.
About the same height, yeah.
Oh man, what I would give. That's amazing. I'm gonna cheat. I only gave one thorn, so I'm gonna cheat this time. Real quick, Riley, just spilling his heart out on TV, being eloquent, letting the emotions show. We respect a man that's willing to shed some tears. Gonna also give one to Serena P for her maturity in handling that situation. Hey, Kendall's gone. She's off the show. Joe ended it. There's no need to cling on to that. She's looking ahead, and I respect it. Last one. Do you guys want to guess who I'm giving it to? It's a person.
Specifically.
I don't know.
It's not Little John, I'll tell you that.
The comeback kid, baby. James, he's still here. Let's go. And he's making it through next week. And he's making it through the week after that. And they're getting engaged. And he's buying a new hair product. And they're going to have kids. And they're going to have amazing hair. Lock it in. This is James's love story. We're rooting for you, baby. Day one fan. Hey, James, I know you're watching this. The first goddamn time I saw you, I said you were going to be Bachelor. And you know what? I'm doubling down. This man is this man is destined to be Bachelor. He is like termites. You can't get rid of this man. Shout out to my boy James. Okay. Couple of the episode. Mine is obviously Tia and James. But no, I'm kidding. Gary, who's your couple of the episode?
Mari and Kenny. They're strong, they're mature. They have their little bit of drama, which I think it was actually good for them ultimately. So they're chilling, and I want to see them go. I was gonna say Marissa and what's his name, Riley, but I've been labeled a stan of them, so I'm trying to like distance myself. So
well, that's okay. I won't distance myself from them. Riley and Marissa get my pick. I just think they took a huge leap after this episode. I was worried for them at the first half of this episode, especially with Marissa saying, like he's got to show me some more, and then they had that conversation, really broke down some barriers between the two of them and really opened up, and she looked over the moon after that conversation. So I think they're very, very strong, and I'm rooting for them.
Amazing. I was hoping you'd go that direction, because I wanted to go Serena and Joe, baby.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go. That's the trifecta.
Yep.
Yeah, you can't go wrong. I think I always think in a relationship, who's the reacher and who's the settler? Best relationships, you can't really tell who that is. I cannot tell who's the reacher and who's the settler in this relationship. I would have definitely said that Serena was the settler going in, but come on, man, this Joe is seducing me through the TV. He's just a great dude.
Through that television.
Yeah. Through the boob tube, through the social media. Were you on the episode, Cooper? He goes, I guess that's just the power of social media. 800 years old. How is he 5 years, half a decade younger than Kenny? Are you kidding me? But anyways, they're my couple of the episode. I could not have more faith. Guys, we have hopefully a bit more of a banger next week. We'll see. Hopefully we get a few fists thrown, maybe some production intervention, maybe a few couples being thrown up in the air. Fingers crossed. Abigail and Noah finally just break up. No, I don't know. Whatever. We'll see what happens.
We'll
But
see.
guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Rate, review, subscribe, share with friends. Thank you for all your support. Producer Gary, remember,
A wet bird never flies at night.
thank you and peace.